So I have been on the search, as you know, for a rental property, which seems like it's taking forever to find one. But there's a very good reason why I haven't been able to actually go through and purchase one. And this is something that all new beginner investors, even experienced investors, need to know and understand. Not every house that you go look at that you find is gonna be the right deal. It's gonna take time, it's gonna take patience. In the last video, I looked at a house. It was a foreclosed house that the bank actually owned, put it on the market. And actually since the recording of this video, they've already dropped the price by like 20 or 30,000, but it was still hugely overpriced. I had a walkthrough with all my contractors, all my guys, and it needs about $115,000, $120,000 worth of work. It is a full remodel. So when I ran the numbers, basically I can only purchase the house for like 105 to 110,000, but they've only lowered the price to like 145,000, which is still completely overpriced. And so I had to move on from that house, which is why we're out today going to look at, I think, 2 or 3 more houses in some good locations. So let's get to this next house. So I think I figured out the perfect advice to tell you guys about why sometimes it takes so long to find a good house to flip. And honestly, it's very simple. It comes down to people being emotionally involved in the buying and selling process of a house. When people are selling their house, a lot of times they feel they know what it's worth and they just simply will not let it go for lower than what it's worth. And on the buying side, it's the same thing. If I know what it's worth, I'm not going to let my emotions get involved. And so now I'm dealing with a whole set of problems when a seller gets emotional about a certain price. And so what advice can I give you about just being patient? It's very simple. Just be patient. Don't get emotionally involved. It's just a business transaction. If the deal isn't there, if the deal doesn't work, don't force it. Don't try to make something happen that is not there. Now, something that actually just happened, which is super interesting, is the agent. This is an on-market deal, but the agent just messaged me and said, hey, just so you know, there's a potential offer on this that the owner is thinking about taking. And if you guys ever run into situations like this, let me give you a piece of advice, because not a lot of people will tell you this. But as an agent myself for almost 10 years, this is sometimes, and I hate to say this, this is just a tactic that agents will use if their house is not selling. Or even sometimes their client is bugging them saying, hey, why is my house not being sold? Why are we not getting enough showings? And they may use this tactic. Not to say that this agent is doing that, but a lot of agents do. A lot of them will try to do these tactics to make you think like, oh, this house is getting ready to be sold, to hurry up and make an offer and, this kind of stuff. But in reality, a lot of times it's just a tactic. Sometimes it's true, but sometimes it's not. So I've been doing this just long enough to be able to pull up to a subdivision just like this and know immediately it's not going to be worth what they're offering. And that's not to say that the house isn't worth what they're offering. It's not worth me purchasing it, not having enough equity once I rehab to actually rent it out, have a good stable income, or even just turn around and flip it. So let's just go to the next house. Okay, yeah, for sure. This house is for sure foreclosed on. So you can see this is a notice. When it's under a notice like this and it's been winterized, that means it was foreclosed on. The bank took control over it. Let's see. So you guys, just something you guys know, when a house typically sits for a while, it gets kind of this just like slightly musty smell. It's not a bad smell. It's just kind of like a slightly musty smell. It's not terrible though. So it's a nice, actually pretty decently open floor plan. The layout is not bad. It's got a decently screened in porch. This actually isn't bad. Okay, so this is what I want you to show you guys when I mean winterized. So when I say something has been winterized, you'll see these warnings and you'll see blue tape over all the plumbing. You'll see it all over the toilets, anything that has water going to it. And all that means is that a plumber came in and they used compressed air to push out all the water from all the pipes, so that way when it freezes, there's no leaks, it doesn't burst, water starts getting everywhere. They do that when the utilities are off or no one's living here for a while. So if you see that and you know it, you have to automatically know you're gonna have to get permits from the city. So there's gonna be a whole bunch of tricky ways of doing that, of getting the permits, doing it the right way. But no, that is what you're gonna have to do. So I mean, this house is a really good layout. Let's see if this is, oh yeah, old school, deep soaker tub. Sheesh, that goes into the foundation. And then you got the closet, and this is probably the toilet. Or no, wait, where's the toilet? Oh, the toilet's over there. Oh, okay. But honestly, the layout of this house is not bad because on the other side of the house, you have a couple of bedrooms. This right here is actually a very, very good house for a potential rental. So typically in most places in America, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath between 1,600 and 1,800 square feet is a fantastic rental. Here's the reason, especially if it's a split floor plan. There's so many people who would want to live here. So you could have potential roommates and friends who could want to live here, right? You have a single person who would want to live here who could work from home. You could have a married couple that just got married, starter home, that would want to live here. You could have a family with 1 or 2 kids that would want to live here. They could have each their own bedroom. So a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, separate floor plan like this is going to be one of the absolute best floor plans, one of the best layouts that you could actually buy as a rental. They hold value, they gain equity, they appreciate super, super well. So this one is for sure going to be on my list. I'm going to run numbers on this one to see if it's worth actually trying to get into contract. Let's hop in the truck and let's go to this last one. So I've been asked before, hey, what's the process that you go through to actually find these houses? So first step is to actually look for these houses. I'm looking everywhere and anywhere. I'm looking at local Facebook, wholesale groups, MLS, Zillow, Redfin, you name it, I'm looking at. Once I find a couple of houses that are in a good location, from there, I'll just simply go look at these houses and try to get a good idea of the condition. When I do that, I'm quickly able to assess, give or take within a good range of how much this is gonna cost to renovate it, to be able to get a good tenant in it. From there, I'm gonna look at comps. I'm gonna see how much I can rent it for. I'm gonna see how much work it needs, what are they offering, and I'm just gonna run the simple numbers. I need at least 20% if I'm even gonna consider buying it as a flip property and selling. If I'm gonna hold this property, I need at least 25% equity. Once I run those quick numbers, then I'm calling my guys, contractors, electricians, plumbers, and I'm saying, hey, you need this house. Let's dial in these numbers. Let's legitimately see what it's gonna cost. After that, if the numbers look good, I'm putting in an offer, I'm going through inspections and hopefully able to purchase and start the renovation. Oh, I completely forgot to bring you guys in this last house with me, but it is a winner. It is as good, maybe a little weird on the inside compared to the last one, but it is for sure something I'm gonna go home and run numbers on because this one is just like the last one, full renovation, new roof, you know, the normal. It is in a phenomenal area in my city. I mean, the location on this one is better than the last one, but the other house was better as a house. So hopefully that makes sense. I really appreciate you guys watching, coming along with me today. We'll see if we can make something happen. If I put an offer on any of these, I'll walk you through that process of how I do that. But until then, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and I will check you in the next one.